Welcome to Apartment Luxe, where luxury meets imagination.
The entryway greets with a hush of grandeur, a composition of marble and brass that feels like stepping into a timeless overture. Black marble flooring stretches beneath, its veins glimmering in daylight like the lines of a sunburst motif. Walnut panels rise along the walls, their surfaces traced with brass inlays that echo the geometry of Art Deco. Sharp chevrons, stepped forms, and subtle symmetry. Smoked glass partitions reflect the light in softened echoes. The living room unfolds with the confidence of a stage set for elegance. Velvet seating in deep monochrome anchors the space, its texture rich against the clarity of daylight, streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. Brass-framed shelving rises in sculptural rhythm, each line recalling the geometry of the 1920s, yet rendered with modern restraint. A marble table rests at the center, its surface luminous, reflecting brass accents like jewelry scattered across stone. The city skyline beyond becomes part of the composition, skyscrapers rising as sculptural backdrops to the penthouse's interior theater. The atmosphere is cinematic, smooth, elegant, yet grounded in realism. No object floats, no detail breaks immersion. Instead, the living room becomes a gallery of textures, each surface carrying the rhythm of geometry. The kitchen continues the narrative with sharper clarity. Brass fixtures gleam against slabs of white marble, their veins running like lyrical lines across the surfaces. Walnut cabinetry stretches in clean symmetry, its panels traced with brass inlays that recall the stepped forms of Deco design. Steel appliances are integrated seamlessly, their polished edges reflecting daylight in crisp highlights. The island, a monolith of marble and walnut, stands as both functional centerpiece and sculptural statement. Bold, confident, unapologetically modern, velvet stools in monochrome tuck beneath the island, their texture adding richness to the atmosphere. From the kitchen, the apartment transitions into a gallery-like corridor. Walnut walls stretch in clean lines, their surfaces punctuated by sculptural art pieces inspired by Art Deco geometry, abstract forms that suggest sunbursts, chevrons, and symmetry without literal replication. Brass frames catch the daylight, their reflections shimmering across smoked glass panels. The corridor is spacious, atmospheric, designed for pacing slowly, allowing daylight to guide the eye from one motif to the next. The bedroom opens with a quiet grandeur, a sanctuary where geometry and intimacy converge. Walnut panels rise in clean symmetry, their surfaces traced with brass inlays that recall the stepped forms of Art Deco. Velvet bedding in deep monochrome rests against a sculptural headboard, its lines echoing the rhythm of chevrons softened by daylight. Smoked glass partitions diffuse the light into a gentle glow, casting shadows that move across marble flooring like a silent choreography. It is a space of repose, yet it carries the confidence of design, a retreat that feels timeless, elegant, and unapologetically modern. Beyond the bedroom, the walk-in closet reveals itself as a gallery of identity. Walnut cabinetry stretches in precise lines, mirrored doors reflecting daylight into infinite repetitions. Brass handles gleam like jewelry, subtle reminders of elegance woven into utility. Velvet-lined shelves cradle accessories, while smoked glass partitions create a rhythm of transparency and shadow. The bathroom continues the narrative with luminous clarity. Spacious and expansive, marble walls rise in luminous planes, their veins flowing like lyrical lines across the surfaces. Brass fixtures arc with sculptural precision, their golden sheen catching daylight in crisp highlights. A freestanding tub rests beneath a skylight, its surface reflecting the city above, while a sleek, modern toilet seat integrates seamlessly into the design, ensuring realism without breaking elegance. Walnut cabinetry adds warmth, steel, and resin accents balance the composition, and smoked glass partitions create subtle rhythms of shadow. From the bathroom, the apartment opens onto the terrace, a stage suspended above the city. Marble flooring stretches outward, brass railings catching the sun in shimmering reflections. Velvet seating in monochrome anchors the space, its texture rich against the clarity of open air. The skyline becomes part of the composition, skyscrapers rising like sculptural backdrops, their rhythm echoing the geometry within. Daylight floods the terrace, illuminating every surface, creating a theater of serenity above Manhattan. It is a space designed for both solitude and showcase, where the performance of living extends beyond walls into the theater of sky. The office completes the private journey with a tone of quiet confidence. Walnut desks rise with sculptural precision, brass inlays tracing their edges like lyrical lines. Smoked glass partitions reflect daylight into subtle highlights, while velvet seating adds richness to the atmosphere. The geometry here is unmistakable: symmetry in layout, rhythm in decor, balance in proportions. Sculptural art pieces inspired by Art Deco motifs recall the sunburst and chevron, translated into modern abstraction. The apartment concludes with a final reflection, a pause in the narrative that gathers all spaces into a single composition. Daylight has been the constant, flowing across marble, brass, walnut, velvet, steel, illuminating textures, shaping atmosphere, guiding rhythm. The influence of Art Deco geometry has been subtle yet unmistakable, bold, timeless, fashion-driven, unapologetically elegant. This is not a replica of history, but a translation of its energy into architecture, a showcase of luxury where every detail resonates with artistry. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination.
The apartment opens with quiet authority. The entry does not announce itself with excess, but with proportion and material discipline. The floor is laid in large format natural stone with a soft satin finish, its tone warm and restrained. Wall panels in dark wood and pale stone are aligned with precise symmetry, their junctions finished with subtle bronze detailing. Daylight filters in from beyond the entry, creating a natural pull toward the main living volume. The living space unfolds as a grand London salon, wide, balanced, and deliberately composed. Ceiling heights rise generously, framed by architectural moldings that reference British heritage without ornamentation. Floor-to-ceiling windows line the exterior wall, opening the apartment to refined city views and allowing daylight to wash evenly across stone floors, leather upholstery, and polished wood surfaces. Mounted on the left wall is a full-scale Aston Martin, displayed as a permanent architectural installation. Directly opposite, mounted on the right wall, is a second Aston Martin, perfectly level, perfectly aligned, mirroring its counterpart with exacting symmetry. Both vehicles are secured through concealed structural anchoring integrated into the building's frame, allowing them to sit flush against the walls as sculptural forms rather than decorative objects. Seating is generous but controlled. Deep sofas, upholstered in rich leather, positioned symmetrically along the central axis of the room. Tables are carved from solid stone and dark wood, their forms substantial and refined. The kitchen occupies a wide zone adjacent to the living space, integrated seamlessly rather than separated. This is not a domestic kitchen. It is a refined working surface designed with the same restraint as the rest of the apartment. A long island in polished stone anchors the space, paired with cabinetry in dark wood and brushed metal. Appliances are fully concealed, maintaining uninterrupted lines and symmetry. Daylight from the living room windows extends naturally into this area, keeping the space open and composed. Beyond the kitchen, a secondary lounge area introduces a softer rhythm without breaking the architectural order. Lounge chairs in supple leather are arranged in balanced pairs, facing inward toward a low stone table. The atmosphere here is quieter, intended for conversation rather than display, while remaining visually connected to the central living volume. A broad transition gallery extends from the living space toward the private areas of the apartment. The materials remain consistent: stone, wood, bronze, but the lighting softens slightly, signaling a shift from public presentation to personal retreat. The primary bedroom opens as a space of calm authority. It is wide, balanced, and deliberately uncluttered, framed by tall windows that draw in London daylight while preserving privacy. The bed sits low and centered, anchored by a full-height, upholstered headboard in rich leather, stitched with precision and restraint. The leather's tone is deep and natural, paired with dark wood paneling and subtle bronze accents that echo the materials of the public rooms. Nothing in the bedroom is excessive. Seating is limited to a pair of leather lounge chairs positioned near the windows, intended for quiet moments rather than display. Beyond the sleeping area, the dressing room functions as a refined continuation of the bedroom. Custom cabinetry in dark wood and brushed metal lines both sides, its proportions generous and ordered. Shelving and hanging systems are designed for tailored clothing and outerwear, with leather-lined drawers and soft interior lighting that reveals materials without glare. The space reflects the same values as the rest of the apartment: precision, quality, and restraint. The primary bathroom elevates the experience further into quiet luxury. Large stone slabs extend seamlessly across floors and walls, their natural veining subtle and controlled. A freestanding stone bathtub sits near the window, positioned to receive softened daylight while remaining visually grounded. The tub's form is solid and architectural, paired with brushed metal fixtures finished with exacting detail. A walk-through shower occupies one side of the room, enclosed in clear glass with exposed metal hardware. Create an environment that feels more like a private spa than a domestic bathroom. Lighting is recessed and indirect, allowing materials and form to remain the focus. A private office sits apart from the bedroom, designed as a space for focus and decision-making. A substantial desk crafted from dark wood and metal anchors the room, facing a window that frames the city beyond. Shelving is integrated into the walls, holding books, documents, and personal objects are arranged with discipline. The atmosphere is quiet and controlled, intended for concentration rather than display. The private terrace completes the apartment with restraint rather than drama. It opens quietly from the private zone, finished in stone and subtle architectural detailing. Seating is minimal and refined, positioned to face the city and sky. The terrace is not a place for spectacle, but for pause, an extension of the apartment's calm, overlooking London without drawing attention to itself. Throughout the private spaces, luxury is expressed through proportion, material honesty, and precision. The influence of Aston Martin is present not as branding, but as philosophy, balanced performance, craftsmanship, and restraint. These rooms are not designed to impress at first glance, but to endure. This apartment is not a showcase. It is a residence shaped by confidence, heritage, and control, where engineering and elegance meet in silence. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. New York carries a different kind of gravity at this height. Inside this $90 million high-rise penthouse, that same sense of control becomes architectural. This is Burberry translated into space, tailored, commanding, and quietly formidable. The experience begins with the arrival corridor. Long, wide, and unapologetically processional, it establishes authority immediately. Warm limestone walls rise with measured proportion, their surfaces articulated by subtle panel divisions inspired by classic British tailoring. Leather-wrapped wall sections appear intermittently, stitched with precision and finished in camel and deep tan hues. As the corridor opens, the apartment reveals its public heart. The living room is monumental. Vast in scale and breadth, it unfolds beneath a generous ceiling height that allows the space to breathe. Floor-to-ceiling windows stretch across the facade, pulling daylight deep into the room and framing Manhattan as a structured backdrop rather than a spectacle. The light is soft, controlled, and steady, never dramatic, always assured. At the center, oversized seating defines the room's authority. Custom Burberry-inspired sofas sit low and wide, upholstered in textured neutral fabric with camel leather detailing along the seams and edges. Subtle stitch patterns echo tailoring techniques rather than graphics, visible only on closer inspection. Sculptural lounge chairs in leather and dark wood complete the arrangement, their proportions structured and confident. A massive stone coffee table anchors the space, its surface broad and weighty, supported by solid geometric forms in dark metal. Nothing here feels light or temporary. The furniture feels built, not placed. The kitchen unfolds with equal confidence. This is a kitchen designed to be seen. Full-height cabinetry and warm neutral tones lines the walls, its surfaces articulated with subtle panel geometry inspired by Burberry tailoring. Bronze hardware and dark metal accents introduce strength and contrast without ornament. A colossal central island anchors the room, carved from premium stone and surrounded by generous circulation space. Bar seating upholstered in leather lines one side of the island, their forms structured and disciplined. Integrated appliances disappear behind flawless surfaces, allowing materials and proportion to remain the focus. Daylight glides across stone, wood, and metal, revealing depth rather than shine. Every public space within this penthouse speaks the same language: control, craftsmanship, and confidence. The transition into the private wing feels measured and intentional, as though the architecture itself understands restraint. The corridor narrows slightly. The first master suite opens with confidence, large, expansive, and unmistakably commanding. The room is designed with proportion rather than decoration. Floor-to-ceiling windows stretch across one wall, allowing daylight to wash over a palette of warm stone, camel leather, and dark wood. The bed sits low and wide, anchored beneath a tall architectural headboard wrapped in leather, its stitching subtle and deliberate, more felt than seen. A private seating area occupies one side of the room, furnished with oversized leather chairs and a solid stone table. The furniture feels structured, tailored, and permanent, as though it belongs to the architecture itself. Nothing here feels temporary or ornamental. This is a space built for presence. The ensuite bathroom continues the narrative with spa-like discipline. Large format stone surfaces wrap the room, complemented by brushed brass fixtures that introduce warmth without softness. A freestanding tub rests beneath a tall window, bathed in daylight, while an elongated vanity stretches across the wall, carved from stone and accented with leather-lined drawers. The space feels powerful, private, and quietly indulgent. The second master suite introduces a slightly warmer expression of the same language. Smoked oak paneling adds depth, while stone flooring maintains continuity. The bed is framed by architectural symmetry, flanked by leather-accented night elements detailed with restrained metal hardware. A generous lounge area sits near the windows, turning the city into a calm, structured backdrop. Its bathroom mirrors the scale and refinement of the first, stone, leather, and metal working together in disciplined harmony. A walk-in shower and sculptural tub elevate daily routines into moments of ritual, reinforcing the penthouse's commitment to craftsmanship over excess. The third master suite completes the private wing with a more intimate tone. The palette deepens slightly, introducing richer neutrals while preserving openness and scale. The bed anchors the room beneath a paneled headboard that rises like a tailored wall, its geometry inspired by classic British proportions. Minimal furnishings allow material quality and spatial balance to dominate. The adjoining bathroom is immersive and serene, finished in layered stone and warm metal accents. Daylight enters softly, revealing texture and depth rather than brightness. Walk-in closets throughout the private wing feel more like private ateliers than storage. Wide circulation paths allow the space to breathe. Tailored cabinetry in dark wood and leather-lined interiors displays clothing with intention, not abundance. Brass hardware echoes belt buckles and trench fastenings, grounding fashion heritage in functional detail. Beyond the suites, the penthouse unfolds into its working and social spaces. The private office is composed and authoritative. A substantial desk carved from wood and stone faces the skyline, while shelving lines the walls with books, curated objects, and art. The atmosphere is calm, focused, and unmistakably elite, luxury that supports decision-making rather than distracting from it. Nearby, the meeting room feels quietly formidable. A long stone table anchors the space, surrounded by leather chairs with disciplined silhouettes. Wall panels echo the tailoring logic seen throughout the apartment, and daylight sharpens every edge. This is a room designed for conversations that carry weight. The gym maintains the same philosophy of control and refinement. Spacious and well-lit, it features custom equipment finished in dark metal and leather accents. Stone floors, mirrored walls, and structured detailing create an environment that feels private, disciplined, and elevated. Fitness treated with the same seriousness as design. Finally, the terrace opens the penthouse outward. Wide and commanding, it extends the interior's disciplined luxury into the open air. Stone flooring continues seamlessly outside, while structured outdoor seating in neutral tones is arranged with generous spacing. The skyline stretches beyond, framed by clean lines and architectural restraint. This penthouse does not chase attention. It does not need to. Every corridor, every surface, every proportion reflects the Burberry philosophy, tailored, confident, and enduring. This is luxury expressed through discipline rather than excess. Heritage translated into architecture that feels both timeless and formidable. A residence built not to impress for a moment, but to command for decades. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. New York reveals a different kind of beauty from this height. This is Tiffany & Coder translated into space, luminous, elegant, and meticulously composed, where luxury is defined not by weight or darkness, but by brilliance and proportion. The experience begins with the arrival corridor. Wide and composed, it unfolds like a quiet procession. Pale stone walls rise on either side, their surfaces carved with subtle faceted reliefs inspired by diamond cuts. Angular yet softened, precise yet graceful. Platinum-toned metal inlays trace the architecture in long, refined lines, catching daylight and scattering it gently across the space. As the corridor opens, the penthouse reveals its public heart. The living room is vast and luminous, unfolding in a wide open volume framed by floor-to-ceiling glass. Daylight pours in from every direction, reflecting across pale stone floors, pearl-toned walls, and polished metal accents. The skyline beyond feels less like a view and more like part of the design, soft, distant, and endlessly expansive. At the center, a monumental seating arrangement defines the space. Custom Tiffany-inspired sofas stretch low and wide, upholstered in refined neutral fabric with subtle texture. Select cushions reveal hints of Tiffany blue leather on their interior faces, discreet, intentional, and unmistakable to those who notice. Sculptural lounge chairs curve gently around the arrangement, their forms elegant and faceted, echoing the geometry of fine jewelry. A large statement coffee table anchors the room, its surface carved from pale stone with beveled edges that catch light like a cut gem. Polished nickel detailing traces its form, precise and understated. The room is generously spaced, allowing air and light to move freely. Nothing crowds the eye. Nothing competes. Above, a grand chandelier floats within the volume. Composed of layered crystal elements and slender metal arms, it feels less like a fixture and more like a suspended piece of jewelry. The transition into the dining area is seamless, guided by material continuity and proportion rather than walls. Here, the atmosphere shifts toward elegance and ceremony. A long dining table stretches through the space, carved from luminous stone and finished with precision-cut edges. Dining chairs upholstered in soft leather surround it, their backs detailed with gentle faceting and polished metal accents. The palette remains pale and refined, allowing texture and craftsmanship to carry the luxury. Overhead, a linear chandelier composed of crystal and platinum-toned elements runs the length of the table, casting an even, radiant glow. Beyond the dining space, the kitchen unfolds as a jewel box of modern luxury. Cabinetry rises in pearl-toned finishes, seamlessly detailed and perfectly aligned. Subtle geometric paneling references Tiffany's design language without literal repetition. A large central island anchors the room, carved from pale marble and edged in polished metal, its proportions generous and confident. Bar seating upholstered in soft leather lines one side of the island, introducing warmth and comfort without breaking the room's composure. The transition into the private wing feels calmer, more intimate, yet no less refined. The corridor narrows slightly, guiding movement forward like the setting of a finely cut stone. The first master suite opens as a sanctuary of light. Expansive and beautifully proportioned, the room is wrapped in soft, neutral tones that glow under daylight pouring through floor-to-ceiling windows. The bed sits confidently at the center, upholstered in tailored fabric with a broad headboard, inset with subtle Tiffany blue leather panels. Discreet, elegant, and unmistakable. Lounge seating rests near the windows, sculptural and inviting, positioned to take in the city without competing with it. Materials here are gentle yet luxurious. Pale stone flooring, pearl-toned walls, polished metal accents that shimmer softly rather than shine. The atmosphere is serene, composed, and deeply indulgent. The ensuite bathroom continues the experience at a spa-like scale. White marble wraps the space, its veining delicate and refined. A freestanding tub rests beneath a tall window, bathed in daylight, while an elongated vanity stretches across the wall with sculpted basins and platinum fixtures. Mirrors rise high, reflecting light and space until the room feels expansive and weightless. The second master suite introduces a warmer expression of the same language. Soft limestone walls and refined textures create a sense of comfort layered over precision. The bed is framed by architectural symmetry, its headboard detailed with gentle faceting rather than ornament. A private sitting area anchors one side of the room, furnished with curved seating and polished stone tables that feel sculptural and intentional. Its bathroom mirrors the generosity of the first: walk-in shower, sculptural tub, and luminous finishes that glow rather than dazzle. Everything is designed to feel effortless, as though luxury simply exists here without effort. The third master suite completes the trio with a more intimate tone. The palette deepens slightly, introducing richer neutrals while maintaining brightness and clarity. The room remains large and open, but the atmosphere feels cocooned and personal. The bed anchors the space beneath a tailored architectural backdrop, while minimal furnishings allow materials and proportion to take precedence. Adjoining bathroom is immersive and refined, finished in layered stone and soft metallic accents. Daylight filters gently, revealing texture and craftsmanship rather than brilliance. Walk-in closets throughout the private wing feel closer to jewelry galleries than storage. Cabinetry is precise and elegant, with glass-fronted displays, leather-lined drawers, and softly illuminated shelving. Each piece feels curated, displayed, and celebrated. Luxury not hidden, but honored. Beyond the suites, the penthouse unfolds into its refined working and social spaces. The private office is calm and luminous. A sculptural desk carved from stone and wood faces the city, while shelving lines the walls with books, objects, and carefully placed art. The space encourages focus without severity, clarity without austerity. Nearby, the meeting room feels quietly ceremonial. A long table anchors the center, surrounded by tailored seating and soft leather. Faceted wall detailing and polished metal accents reflect daylight gently, creating an atmosphere suited to meaningful conversations and decisive moments. The gym continues the penthouse's philosophy of refined indulgence. Bright and spacious, it features premium equipment integrated seamlessly into the architecture. Pale stone floors, mirrored surfaces, and subtle Tiffany blue accents create an environment that feels disciplined, private, and elevated. The bar offers a softer contrast, a sculptural counter carved from luminous stone curves gently through the space, backed by glass shelving that displays crystal, glassware, and art objects like fine jewelry. Seating is comfortable and elegant, designed for conversation rather than spectacle. Even here, daylight remains present, grounding the space in reality and calm. Finally, the terrace opens the penthouse outward. Wide and serene, it extends the interior's luminosity into the open air. Pale stone flooring continues seamlessly outside, while refined outdoor seating and sculptural tables create a tranquil retreat above the city. The skyline stretches endlessly beyond, framed by clarity and light rather than drama. This penthouse does not chase luxury through excess. It defines it through brilliance, precision, and restraint. Every room feels deliberate. Every surface feels perfected. Every space reflects the quiet authority of Tiffany & Co., a house built on clarity, craftsmanship, and timeless elegance. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination. The elevator doors slide open to a soft glow of amber and gold. Inside this penthouse, New York looks different, alive, like it's playing a slow rhythm only Elvis Presley could hear. The foyer greets you with deep teal velvet walls, framed by gold trim, floor tiles, and polished white marble laced with bronze. A vintage, sunburst mirror hangs above a console of dark walnut and chrome. A record spins quietly from a hidden speaker. Can't Help Falling in Love, remastered but still tender. The music doesn't fill the space. It lingers, drifting down the corridor like perfume. Ahead, double glass doors open to the main living room. A vision of retro glamour reimagined for the sky. Floor-to-ceiling windows curve around the corner, framing Manhattan's skyline at dusk. Lights blinking like stage bulbs. Cream-colored leather sofas rest on a thick burgundy rug, patterned in gold filigree, and a black lacquer coffee table reflects the chandelier above. Cascading amber glass shaped like inverted trumpets. To the left, a custom jukebox gleams in the corner. Not garish, but elegant, trimmed in brass and ivory enamel, its vinyl stack illuminated by a soft orange glow. Beside it stands a framed acoustic guitar, the maple body polished to mirror shine. If Elvis were alive in this century, this is where he'd live. A man of charisma and grace, surrounded by echoes of his rhythm but built for today's skyline. Past the living room, a set of arched walnut doors slides open, revealing a space that feels like rhythm turned into architecture. This is the music lounge, the beating heart of the apartment, the place where everything hums. A sunken seating pit rests at the center, circular, wrapped in dark amber leather, with a glass-topped table glowing softly from below. Overhead, an elliptical chandelier made from retro microphone grills spills warm light like liquid gold. Against the far wall stands a white grand piano, sleek and timeless. Its surface reflects a small spotlight, and beside it, a guitar rests on a stand of polished chrome. On the wall behind the piano, golden records hang in a loose spiral pattern, arranged not as trophies but as constellations. To the right, a short hallway leads to the private bar and dining area. It's a throwback to mid-century elegance. A curved marble counter trimmed in gold, bar stools upholstered in white leather, and mirrored shelving filled with crystal decanters. Each shelf is backlit in amber, turning whiskey and wine into liquid sunlight. The dining area continues the theme of soft glamour. A round walnut table with a glossy black finish sits beneath a circular chandelier of crystal fins. Chairs in ivory velvet with gold legs surround it, and the walls carry subtle panel patterns that shimmer when touched by light. Every texture, marble, metal, glass, plays its part like instruments in a slow, soulful song. Beside the dining area, a door of frosted glass slides open to the recording alcove. It's smaller, more intimate, a creative hideaway built for inspiration, not show. Inside, soundproof velvet panels hug the walls, their surface soft as fabric, yet heavy with quiet. A desk of polished wood holds a turntable, a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and a gold condenser microphone resting on its stand. Beyond that, a narrow corridor glows with low golden strips, leading toward the private quarters. The corridor is lined with soft cream panels trimmed in brushed brass. At the end, double doors open into a master suite that feels more like a private retreat than a room. The floor is dark walnut polished to mirror sheen. At its center stands a California king bed, upholstered in deep ivory leather, framed by a headboard wrapped in quilted velvet. Above it, a massive circular light fixture hovers like a halo, its amber glass casting a cinematic softness over the room. On the nightstand, an old silver lighter and a vintage watch rest beside a crystal glass of water. A turntable quietly spins in the background, needle tracing silence. The record finished long ago, yet still turning. The walls carry rhythm without words. One side displays a triptych of black and white photographs. Elvis mid-performance, caught in that eternal sway, body and soul, one motion. Across from the bed, glass doors slide open to a terrace bathed in moonlight. Step outside, and New York spreads out in silence. The skyline glows, soft gold, silver, and violet, stretching across the horizon. Two cream lounge chairs face the edge, a low marble table between them. Inside, the light shifts to a deeper amber. You move toward the dressing room, tucked behind a mirrored sliding door. This space is pure nostalgia. Open wardrobes reveal rows of tailored jackets, modern cuts but unmistakably Elvis, white, champagne, and navy. Each with subtle metallic thread glints under the light. Polished leather boots stand a line below, and a gold microphone stand gleams in the corner like a relic from a dream. Beyond it, another door opens into the ensuite bath. It's vast, walls clad in pale marble veined with silver and gold. A freestanding tub of polished stone sits near a window framing the skyline. Steam curls through the air, catching light like mist over a stage. This isn't an apartment. It's a love letter. To rhythm, to showmanship, to soul. It's what happens when the king trades a stage for the skyline, but keeps the same grace in his step. As the music fades, the city hums back in response. And for a moment, New York feels like Memphis in the clouds. If you enjoyed the tour, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Subscribe for more stories where luxury meets imagination.